It's a great honor to have you on. When I look at how history changed because of your intervention, just telling the truth, backing it up with facts, the country's in a much different spot, so much so that even the New York Times must have to admit now that the Bidens were really in on a grift, just like you said. I'd just like to get your reaction, how much the story has catapulted in the last year or two as people realize that what you said and what I said all along, it was always true.
Yeah, absolutely. It was always true. And it really, when you go back in time, the original reporting from Miranda Devine, the Post, who started to get her kind of her interest percolated around the events, kind of kicked everything off. And then I, went through all of this time with this case on my mind, and really questioned myself. Had I done anything wrong? And it was your reporting at the end of the day that identified the whistleblower from Morgan Stanley, that identified the lobbying from the Biden legal apparatus while his father was vice president, that showed that I was, that really laid it out, that I was moved from witness to target within a very short period of time. And I really, it's you think about the press as kind of the fourth leg of government, and I certainly wouldn't be in this place without the investigative journalism and the courage of the likes of you and Miranda Devine and many others, in the non-mainstream media, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Devon, you spent a lot of time with Hunter Biden and witnessed his maneuverings. Last week you had him agreeing to a disbarment deal. So I'm hearing these revived arguments about how poorly he was treated just because he was related to Joe Biden by the three main congressional committees investigating him: Ways and Means, Judicial, and Oversight. And you've also got USA David Weiss, who they say was really, really hard on him. But you saw him intimately. You saw all of this. Were they extra hard on him, or were they fair?
In my mind, were they extra hard on him? I think there was a bigger spotlight. But if you look at what I went through and what I went through with him, where I was, the chairman of an investment bank, he was the vice chairman of an investment bank. I spent 10 years fighting a legal case in which I was first exonerated by the trial judge, then unexonerated in a maybe double jeopardy. That we should take a look at that law. It's called the Archer standard now. Sentenced, and then had a sentence vacated. So I am not crying any crocodile tears for the way that he was treated in any respect after fighting for myself and my family without having anyone in high political office, much less the president. So an additional spotlight, but I think that's deserved for a family man from Brooklyn, grew up on Long Island, having the scrutiny that I had. I think I've fought a lot harder battles. So again, not claiming any mercy for the Bidens.